So hello everyone. So this is a grade class, and we'll be presenting a class project, which is Total Guide to Our City Named Aquacourt, and it's a whole class representative presentation, which means all of us work together to make this all happen. So let's get started. First of all, as you guys can see, here is a topographical map of our city Aquacourt, so that you guys can observe it from the bird's eye view. Moving on to next slide, here is a map of our city with more details. So here, as shown in the legend, the area covered color white are government property, while area color purple are commercial, and as follow residential, agriculture, industrial, historical are separated in different colors. And the population of our city is estimated to be 500,000. So let's talk about why the industrial and agricultural areas are located on the right side. So as shown in the picture below, here you can see that industrial and agricultural areas are, circled with red line, and their colors are like red and yellow. So to talk about it more deeply, the right side of our city is sparsely populated, and it has like clearly no historical landmark, so it's perfectly suited for growing crop and rearing animals. And it also has lots of water sources, and the soil is fertile enough to yield a large quantity of crops every year. And as shown below, our city has many farms, namely high-tech aquaponics, wheat farms, high-tech dairy farms, grape farms, and these ones like surprising fact about those farms are like they all have roads. So Hankins will carry on the presentation, talking more about the building placement.
The purpose behind the downtown area. Downtown area is set up with hospitals, schools, bank, markets, etc. The main reason why we make this construction of hospitals, schools, banks, and markets in this particular area is to help residents be able to get those places easily when it comes to urgent cases, since this area is settled by residents. Why the residential area is located on the left side of the map. There is two reasons why residential area on the left is on the left of the map. First, this town is most famous area of Wars. They have a lot of historical places which are very, very expensive historical things. People don't want ruined the historical places, and they know how the historical areas are valued. The second is that the ground is not good to build on it, and the ground is wet and warm, so that is dangerous and affect people who live near around it. This is why residential areas are located on the left side of the map. Reason for settling down here. Our city was founded in 1800, the 26th of October. The main reason for settling at our city here is that the place where our city is located has many water sources, which can be convenient for agriculture, transportation, and can also have excellent views, which can be of help for tourism. You can also find lots of seafood here because of the high number of aquaponic farms. Another reason is that there are lots of landmarks such as war memorials, Bangkok, watchtowers, etc. How the city was founded, its origin. In the 1800s, some refugees from the south of France stumbled into a marshy but beautiful piece of land, which they named Aquaday, and later settled in. Our goals for this city. We want our city to be up to date with the best technology. We want people to appreciate and more of its beauty and resource. We want this place to get its recognition it deserves. We also want to protect our natural ecosystems by minimizing waste and plastic use. We want this city to produce the highest quality products in France.
Hello, my name is Kanyate, and I'm going to talk about everything historic in Aquacourt. So let's first talk about historic artifacts in Aquacourt. So there are some everyday items and weapons from the Roman Empire, and weapons, ammo, and artillery pieces from the Napoleonic Wars all the way to the all the way to World War II. Some coins, paintings, and sculptures from the Renaissance period, some animal fossils and specimens. Now let's talk about military historical sites. Who was responsible for the construction of these sites? Field Marshal Grenfrew and Field Marshal Earl Rommel. Field Marshal Grenfrew served for the French Army since the Napoleonic era, and Earl Rommel served since World War I. And so Grenfrew was responsible for all the sites, while Rommel approved and suggested the construction of some sites and helped with some extra labor. And Grenfrew died with the 35th Rifles during the Battle of Accocord against the Allied forces, but his body was never found. Earl Rommel died by forced suicide to save his family after an attempted coup of the German government. Fort River Guard. It's an old fort made during the Napoleonic Wars, positioned on the riverbanks to protect French ports around it and guard the river of any enemy ships or armies. The fort is made with concrete in the shape of a star, like most forts back then. So why is it made in a star shape? It is made to give a wider field of fire so no enemy is safe standing against the wall. Here's the location of the fort. Now on to the next site. Position, the artillery stood on it's an artillery position only made up of artillery guns, trenches, and anti-air and anti-tanks dug up by the Vichy French forces. The Vichy French government is a puppet state formed by the German forces after they took France during World War II. This artillery position is positioned and made to fire at the left side of the beaches and support the artillery spawning bunkers there, as you can see on the map. See Liebke artillery stellung, or position the artillery sud a group of artillery guns and bunkers connected by trenches made by Vichy French forces with the help of German forces or the Wehrmacht during World War II. This artillery position is positioned and made to fire at the right side of the beaches and support the artillery bunkers there. And you can see on the map, it's supposed to fire on the rightmost side of the beach. Position the artillery Courtier Sud. It's an old French coastal artillery position built during World War I and continued serving after World War II. This artillery position is positioned and made to fire and destroy enemy ships before they reach the beach or bombard it. As you can see here, it's located on the beach right at the back. All right, near the baton, a large bunker that includes multiple machine guns, ports, and anti-tank guns and howitzers covered by some foliage, connected by underground concrete tunnels and retractable guns that can go up and underground or down. It is built during the interwar period during the construction of the Maginot Line, and which failed to protect French as the German army just went around it. So the bunker is positioned to stop or slow down the enemy from reaching the city hall and the founding place quickly. So it's near the quickest road to them. So it's located right at the intersection, as you can see on the map. Position the Mitrailleuse and Baton, an old machine gun bunker disguised as old ruins built as the last line of defense on the road to the founding place of Accocord and the barracks of the 35th Rifle Regiment during World War II. So this machine gun position can see the road to the founding place, while behind it is the 35th Rifle Regiment, the barracks of the 35th Rifle Regiment. The 35th Fusiliers, the 35th Rifles are the home guards of Aqua, born and raised in Aqua. These men are familiar with the terrain, so they're well trained to fight in the swampy and tropical grounds of Aquaport. The 35th Rifles were formed in the Napoleon Wars to protect soil as Napoleon's army advances east. The rifles are still serving to this day and are stationed next to the old barracks that they used through the Napoleonic Wars to the end of. The picture on the bottom right is the old barracks, and the picture on the top right is the 35th Rifles training in a military exercise in south of Spain. And here's also a map of where both of the barracks are located. The three positions, the repellage, the artillery, these three bunkers of very varying sizes made to warn and talk about enemy movements and positions for the artillery built during World War II. They're built on the high grounds of the beaches so they can do the task better. You can see that because it was covered by the map. So anyways, the other three positions marked on the map. So now on to Zemunian. He's going to talk about the catacombs and the museum, and also the famous artistic pieces of Aquaport.
So let's talk about catacombs. Before we talk about catacombs of Aquaport, let's first talk about catacombs of Paris. The catacombs of Paris are underground ossuaries in Paris, France, which hold the remains of more than 6 million people in a small part of the tunnel network built to consolidate Paris' ancient stone quarries. So even though the majority of catacombs is in Paris, the starting point of the catacombs are from Aquaport, meaning that it originally comes from Aquaport. Catacombs of Aquaport is a tunnel full of schools, which will eventually lead to the Paris catacombs. So next is museum. I don't know where the heck it is. Museum is the most visited and biggest museum and historic landmark in Aquaport. It is home of some of the best known works of art, including a Mona Lisa, which is literally just a disfigured Mona Lisa, and leg, which is the weird combination of egg and a leg. And here we have I Am Batman. Here at this figure, Mona Lisa, aka Mona Lisa. And here I Want to Geese. And here Holy Aegon of Pig, which is the painting of people worshipping an aegon for some reason. Next. And next is Second Amendment right page, which is some woman holding a gun. And next is leg, which I said a weird combination between people leg and an egg. No need to.
This is water transportation. The first are container ships for transportation of goods. The second is cruise ships for tourists and visitors. And the third, passenger ships for transportation of local people. And the last, small boats for sightseeing on tours that you can rent at hotels or restaurants, etc. The downtown consists of local markets, hospitals, schools, and banks. The second, well-connected transport networks for tourists and natives to go around easily. The main road is named the First Street, having small streets branched off from it, named Second and Third Street. Okay, and transport off the other side of the town. This side is the historical area, so the roads are built in a historical pattern. The roads are connected with every historical landmark, so you can get around easily. The roads near the beach are you can walk on the walking streets, and cars are not allowed. We can go biking, walking, running, and do exercise with nature's beauty. These roads are all connected to each other, and the bridge is connected to industrial zones from the historical area. Now, the products. The first is Dijon mustard, and most of you may know that, but it originated in France. But what most people will know that is Aquacourt is a large producer of Dijon mustard, and Gruyere salt, cheese, chocolate, wine, merguez, and baguette. Cheese products are, as you can see on the left, we mostly produce blue cheese and goat cheese, and they are very famous. And the second, La Maison de Chocolat. This is just a fancy French name for chocolates, and there are many types of chocolates, as you can see on the top, but on the bottom is a more primal way of chocolate. And the next slide, wines. The wines produced in Aquacourt are really fresh and delicious, but we mostly produce red wine and grape wine, and we don't produce other varieties much. Next is merguez. This is a type of sausage made from beef, and it's really delicious if you eat it like a sandwich with a croissant. Next, a baguette. As all of you may know, a baguette is a type of French bread, and most people will say that the baguettes should have a crispy exterior and a soft interior, and the bread from Aquacourt is just that. Next, farms. For farms, there are mainly four types: high-tech aquaponics, wheat farms with baguette, high-tech dairy farms, and grape farms. And aquaponics. Aquaponics is basically an advanced type of farming, which uses fish poop as fertilizer, and fertilizers for plant to grow. And then wheat farms are mostly used to make the wheat from our wheat farms are mostly used to make baguettes. And next, high-tech dairy farms. For our dairy farms, the milk from our dairy farms are mostly used to make milk, butter, milk, yogurt, cheese, and other dairy products. Grape farms. As you know, grape farms, our wine is made from grapes, so yeah, we need a lot of grape farms. And
So let's talk about fun fact week, I guess. So Aquacourt is the second place for tourism in the world, and Aquacourt is a producer of the highest quality French products. And Aquacourt is a town where the bag for baguette come from. Yes, there is a bag for baguette, and it has 12 to 14 million tourism per year. And despite a lot of tourism, natural resources and sceneries are undamaged, and Aquacourt thanks to the great care and preservance. Aquacourt is a town where most of the world's red wine and grape wine come from. And while Aquacourt was once mostly made up of water bodies such as lakes, but with newfound technology, we managed to move these lakes to a different area while maintaining the ecosystems.
So let's talk about our expectations in 10 years to come. So we want our city Aquacourt to maintain a neutral population, which means that our city should be at only about 1% population growth each year. And secondly, our income per year. So we want it to be about 160% of our input for our income, so that we can upgrade our technology each year to be one of the most advanced cities in France. And lastly, for our settlement size, we don't particularly want to expand our city, but if it's needed, we can always free up more space. So it seems like we've reached the end. So we sincerely appreciate your attention, and we would like to apologize if we caused some inconvenience throughout the presentation. Thank you.